be Broadway's brightest live. Why spend Thursday nights drunk in a dive? They're friends with Rye, and he's a Broadway guy. He's your Broadway and entertainment BFF. It's Live with Rye and Friends on Broadway. He's a bundle of joy and happiness. He loves being here for you. He's a theater nerd who will share a word with a Broadway star or two. Our guests will have you on the floor like Orfeh, Benanti, and many more. Rye Myers, the gay Ryan Seacrest, your Broadway and entertainment BFF. It's Live with Rye and Friends on Broadway.
Broadway talk show in all of New York City, now officially celebrating 1 year, which was a few weeks ago. Very exciting. So welcome, welcome. The theme song that you just heard, that was sung by the incredible Alyssa Ray from American Idol Season 20 Top 9, composed by the incredible Jeffrey Schmelkin, and lyrics by Jay Brancato. So thank you again to those incredible people for that wonderful theme song. And if you've been following this show since the beginning, you also know too that the song has been updated a bit, so that's exciting as well. Tickets are now on sale for my continual anniversary show on December the 11th at ryemyers.com/anniversary show. It's Sunday night at 8 p.m. at the Triad Theater. Very exciting, as you know. It was supposed to be October 20. It was supposed to be last week, October 17th, and pushed it to December the 11th. I'm very excited, and I'll be announcing the special guests who will be joining me soon. It's a continuation of the anniversary show and celebrating the holidays. So get your tickets. Tickets are only $15. And if you can't make it, we do have the live stream through Stellar, but come out in person because there's going to be even more giveaways and holiday fun. And if you know me, you know I love the holidays, and it's going to be a good celebration. So now let's get into some Broadway news like I usually do at this time. I don't know if you all heard, but today is actually the final day for Sebastian Arculus, who's currently in Into the Woods. He ends his run as the Baker, and he's married to Stephanie J. Blanc, who's starring opposite side him as the Baker's wife, which is very exciting and so cute. Brian D'Arcy James will be reprising the role, I believe, starting on Tuesday. So we send Sebastian all of his love and best wishes, and glad I got to see him in that show. And then very exciting news, Great Scott, Back to the Future will open on Broadway next year on June 30th. It's going to begin previews June 30th at the Winter Garden Theater, currently home to the Music Man, and it officially opens on August 3rd. So I'm excited about that, but I'm surprised that they waited so long to do it with Tonys and stuff. I would thought they would want to get in for the 2023 Tonys, but now because of this, they'll be 2024 Tonys. So that's very interesting, but I'm very excited, and I can't wait for Back to the Future. It's going to be really good. So, and very exciting too, MJ, the Michael Jackson musical, will be doing a never-before-seen, one-time-only finale number for their Halloween show on October 31st at, I believe it's at 7 p.m. Audiences are encouraged to dress up. It's going to be very exciting, and they'll never do this number again. It's just for Halloween. And finally, the biggest news I'm sure you all heard this week, Patti LuPone has given up her equity card. She's no longer a part of Actors Equity. She's so funny, tweeted, you figure it out, I'm done with this circus. So she's no longer part of Equity. She can still perform now on Broadway with special exceptions, but very interesting that she gave up the card. And personally, listen, I know it's not a popular opinion. I'm over for Patti LuPone. I love her dearly, but after, she's, especially after the company thing and the Chris Harper stuff, but love you, Patti. I can't wait to see it below, but I'm just like, this was extra. So, but she's of course a legend in her own right, and I'm shocked that she gave up her card. But apparently, as I said, if she does decide to come back to Broadway, there are special exceptions. And as she said, Actors Equity said that if she does join again, she'll have to go through the whole process, and it doesn't even seem like they remember who she is, from what I understand. So fascinating. Did you all hear about that, Patti LuPone? Yeah. All right, and now with that, help me welcome my very special guest. I'm so excited to welcome him. He's currently on Broadway in the exciting new show, Leopoldstadt, which is at the Long Acre Theater. You must get your tickets. Please help me welcome the incredible Daniel Cantor. Hi, Daniel. How are you? I believe it is. Oh, turn it on. Me too. Here we go.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good, Daniel.
Friends who came.
So excited to see everyone. Thank you for doing this.
Yeah,
You just came from a show, so
I did.
thank you for doing this. Thank you for taking the time, and I'm always even more appreciative when friends to the show come from their show, so thank you. How is it going in Leopoldstadt?
It's going great. I mean, it's maybe an odd thing to say because it's sort of a heavy play.
It is.
I mean, it's a heavy play with humor.
Of course, of course, of course.
But it's a profound play, and I think everybody in it feels really honored to be a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's Tom Stoppard, who's a genius, and it's a masterful play, so I feel really lucky to be a part of it.
Well, we're lucky to have you a part of it. We'll talk more on that later. But where did you get your love of acting and performing? Where did that first begin? Did you grow up performing as a child? Were your parents, performers? I always like to find out.
Well, that's an interesting question. I mean, I will say it's definitely genetic.
Okay.
I mean, or it's so deeply acculturated somehow. But I mean, when I was 6, I was like, I want to be an actor. So early on, and there were auditions for the first grade play, and I could barely read. I remember other kids were better readers, and I was like, oh. And then they cast me in a non-speaking part for the first play. I was the emperor. It was a Japanese fable, and I just had to bow. That's the extent of the beginning. But I knew I wanted to do it. I mean, I just knew I wanted to do it.
Good early training for roles that for miming or for roles that didn't require.
That's true. And my mom was a musician. She's no longer alive, but she was a pianist and a singer.
And then obviously you continued your studies as you went on to continuing education for theater, correct?
I did. Well, I went to Wesleyan University in Connecticut. I was a double major in theater and American studies.
Oh.
And then got my MFA in acting from the American Conservatory of Theater.
That's exciting. And what was that like? That's such a prestigious place, the American Conservatory.
It kind of sucked, right? It kind of sucked.
Oh.
No. It was good. It was really good. It was great.
Everyone has a different experience. So
No, it was great. I mean, it was great. Actually, I mean, it's been a wonderful program. This last year was its last graduating class. The program has stopped temporarily. It was the last accredited MFA acting program not affiliated with the university. So there used to be many of them, and they sort of fell away because it's very expensive to actually have a degree program now, I'm sure. So, the whole idea was you train and then you get bumped up to be part of the company. So in my time there, actually, I got invited into the company after my training. And the first play I did was Arcadia by Tom Stoppard, directed by Carrie Perloff. And Carrie became good friends with Tom Stoppard, and she wrote a book about it, actually. So when I was called back for this, it was like, Carrie, calling in a favor. Please tell her to cast me.
Yeah, wow. And I mean, not to veer too far off, but what was that like to be in the audition room with, I'm sure Tom either was there or saw the videos. I mean, that had to be exciting, but also nerve-wracking to be, auditioning and being in a callback for one of the British playwrights from the latest generation.
Well, he was not at the audition, although I guess he was watching them. He was back in England, and the callback was here in New York. But Patrick Marber directed it. And, Patrick Marber, I've known about his work for a long time as a director and a writer, and he's playing Closer. I feel like you did a scene from Closer in class. Did you?
I might have.
No, yeah. Anyway, so I was nervous to meet Patrick Marber, but he was really nice.
Oh, that's
I was like, is he going to be all arrogant in the room and cold and distant? And I think he understood, as most good directors and collaborators understand, that people do their best work when they feel comfortable and relaxed.
And that's the best way to do your work and to have it done. That I think the best comes out of that environment. So, as an actor, how have you learned to adjust your skills for TV and the stage? I mean, you've done quite a bit of TV work in television and film and on stage. So, how have you learned to adjust? Because obviously, for those who may not know, those watching, obviously being on stage and using that acting presence is much different than being on screen, which is one of the reasons why I never became an actor. That's why hosting fits me so well. I can use my personality on any screen, but on screen you have to be very, no movement, and stage is very big. So how have you learned to adjust?
Well, what Stanislavski said?
No, what did he say?
He said, the person you are is 1,000 times more interesting than the best actor you could hope to be.
Oh, wow.
Anyway, so I mean, if you blend yourself to whatever you're doing, it's always going to be interesting to some extent. I would say that I don't think I have mastered camera acting. I mean, the majority of my career has been on stage, and when I work on camera, I never like my work when I see it. But that's our own dysmorphic.
We all do that, yeah.
We all
It's this way. I can't watch myself back over.
I mean, it's not necessarily that theater is big. It's not necessarily that it's big, but it's that the camera is a magnifying glass. It's not a mirror, it's actually a magnifying glass. So sometimes your own natural behavior, my own natural behavior as a pretty expressive person, is too big for the camera. So if I act naturally, it's like, oh, shoot, my eyebrows are going crazy. So to really find coolness here, but still have commitment to stakes and passion. It's sort of like rubbing your belly and tapping your head.
Wow. Yeah.
And I think also, like most of the stuff I do on TV, it's like I'm a guest on one episode. So like you show up and you don't know anybody, and it's strange to feel totally comfortable. And any times I've had multiple days on something on camera, by the end you feel much more comfortable. So I don't know if I've mastered it, but I do enjoy it all. Like I enjoy the different challenges. Like if you were a visual artist, it maybe it's the difference between doing an etching and doing a sculpture. You know what I mean? There's still common elements to them all, but they're just slightly different approaches.
Oh, that's exciting. I mean, there are approaches that you, as a performer, have to learn and know, and I think that's it's something I don't know, and for the common person who doesn't do acting doesn't know. So to be able to do that is great. So back to, I don't know if I'm saying it right. Is it Leopoldstadt?
It's Leopoldstadt.
Oh, Leopoldstadt. Okay. So I feel like
You can mispronounce this.
Yeah. So you're making your Broadway debut in Leopoldstadt. Now at the Long Acre Theater. So what has that been like? Congrats on making your Broadway debut. This play is absolutely riveting. The reviews were incredible. I saw it a few weeks back. Got to see Daniel in it. The show is beautiful. It's moving. It's heartbreaking. And I really like how he incorporated, sort of, I think it was 3 or 4 different years or eras in this show. So what has it been like? It's selling out and doing very well. So what has it been like to be in the show for your Broadway debut, Tom Stoppard of all things?
Well, it's a good question. I mean, again, I feel really lucky to be part of it, and I think part of my interest in it is, I think it's both aesthetically and in terms of its content is a masterful play. And so that's what excites me the most. I mean, of course, on a ego level, I guess it's nice to say I'm in a Broadway show.
Of course.
But it might sound dishonest, but that's not my first orientation, the fact that it's a Broadway show. Although it is nice, sometimes it occurs to me, I'm like, oh, I'm walking into the theater now, Broadway show, that's cool. And sometimes when the wings and I just look, I'm like, oh, it's the Broadway theater, nice. But once you're doing a play, the first preview, I actually got very nervous. And I've been acting a long time. I don't really get that nervous anymore, but I got nervous, like, Broadway debut. And then it's just like you're doing a play.
Yeah.
Like any other play. You know what I mean? We're just doing the play. And the same rules apply.
Right. I mean, I think it keeps you humble that you got nervous. I mean, I think that's good. It shows you have, you're a human and have emotion. But that's really exciting. I mean, also too, that's such a gorgeous theater. To be able to also have it doing so well is, that theater has a balcony. So a little theater nerd knowledge. Balconies are, hard to sell. That's the role. I see a theater has a balcony in the Long Acre and Walter Kerr. So unless it's like a musical or a show that's doing really well, it's very hard to sell. And obviously, before that it was Macbeth was in that theater before that, and then we had Diana, R.I.P. And all of that. So it's a very tough. And then Ramsdale. So I'm very excited to see it doing so well.
I'm going to out-nerd you.
Okay.
I think I'm right about this, but you'll have to fact check me.
No.
But I'm going to double nerd you theater and basement.
Please, I love
Theater
it.
basement. So the Long Acre Theater was built by Harry Frazee.
Yes.
He was a producer, but he also owned Boston Red Sox. And he sold Babe Ruth to the Yankees in order to fund No No Nanette, the musical, which was, I believe, in the Long Acre Theater. And I am from Massachusetts, so this is a weird residence for me.
Oh.
I'm in the theater that led to Babe Ruth leaving the Red Sox.
What? That is insane. Wow. That's incredible.
I outnerded him.
You did. I love it. Oh, I love it. This is something I now know. It's wonderful. It's exciting. Wow. So sort of on that, we have some great audience here. I'm going to do a little audience trivia. We have some giveaways. We've got this exciting brand new Milky White sticker, which is very exciting. And we have it's called Drama Gloom, the action game. It's very exciting. It's one of the most popular new games. It's selling out everywhere. We have it also here to purchase as well. So I'm going to do 2 questions, but I'm going to start with one, and then we'll get back to the other one later. If you know it, raise your hand or shout it out. But I want to give everyone a chance, so ideally raise your hand. So the first question is, and you're welcome to play. You don't have to. I would say my guess, no pressure. Name one show that is opening on Broadway this season.
This season?
Yes, between now and the Tony Awards. It hasn't opened yet. No, between now and June. Neil Diamond? Yes, congratulations. Yes, the beautiful noise, the Neil Diamond musical. Yes, it's opening, I think, in like 2 weeks or something, or less than that. Congratulations, here you are. Round of applause for exciting. And remind me your name again? Valerie, congratulations. Yes, I'm excited for that, the Neil Diamond musical. That's going to be good. It's also apparently selling very well. I think it's going to be a big hit. Yes, Neil Diamond musical. Yeah, there's quite a few things opening, and then the ones that have already opened, and I'm very excited. We have so much coming up. I feel like this award season is going to be so tough because there's so many good things opening and coming along as well. So, congratulations, Valerie. We'll get to the second question later on. So, what have you learned about yourself as an actor during this time of Leopoldstadt that has made you a better performer?
Can we go back to the trivia?
No, that's okay.
Kill some time.
No, that's okay.
Well, I have.
Or are you still learning?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I have an interesting track in the play, which is I play a couple of sort of smaller parts, and then I'm covering 3 different parts. So I have 5 parts that I have to keep track of. So I think there's a certain humility in that, I'm like it's like a working class task that I have, and I have to stay on top of it all. And in fact, I was telling you before that one of the parts I'm covering last week I was on for because one of the actors got COVID and was out for a bit, and so you just have to stay on top of it. So you have to be really, really disciplined.
This is probably the hardest role that you have done in the fact of having the role you have and covering.
Yeah, I mean, I've covered a couple times in my career, not very often.
Okay.
So there's humility in that too.
Yes.
As I say to my students, I have a former student here, another sort of former student who directed in the play.
Oh, wow.
So, I'll say it's your job to serve the play. I mean, it's your
Right.
job to serve the play.
Mhm.
That's your job. And so I'm here to serve.
Wow.
So, I don't know what I've learned about myself, except that I'm capable of doing that. And sometimes, you just got to bring it, whether you're tired or what your mood is or whatever else.
Yeah. Well, and I think that, that's incredible because let alone having to memorize lines for one part, you have all those lines to remember, and whenever you go on, I mean, I give so much love to performers, but especially our covers and swings and those who cover roles that are on. I mean, it's incredible. So yes, round of applause and snaps for all of them.
Thank you so much.
So you're also on top of being a performer, you're also a director.
Correct.
And so as a director, what do you look for in a piece when you go to take it on? And what do you want the performers to sort of bring to that role or the roles that you are looking for as a director? I think it's so exciting directing. There's so much that is done that can be done with it, and the director's perspective is so unique.
Yeah, that's a really good question. I mean, I think what I tend to be attracted to, not like exclusively, but what I tend to be attracted to are plays that are distinctly theatrical. So they're not necessarily realistic. They have a heightened element to them. And often I like plays. I like hybrid plays. Like I like plays that include music, but aren't necessarily musicals. And I almost always, I mean, I make the same choices over and over, so I really think I probably shouldn't do this anymore. But like I will add live music to everything that I do, even if it doesn't already exist.
Love it.
Live instrumentation, usually hopefully by the actors themselves. And I really like plays that, and I think this is true of Leopoldstadt, which is that plays that ask questions rather than provide answers, plays that contain paradoxes, plays that evoke the human soul, plays that remind us of our temporariness. And I think what I look for in actors is that they seem to be good people, be good to work with, they have energy about them. They bring conviction and passion to what they're doing. That they could find opposites, right? So something that's always interesting to see someone do is play the opposite, what's obvious on the page, right? Because every moment contains its opposite too. It's a capacity to do that. And I think too, it's really important to me, like, I'm really like, it might seem contradictory to what I just said, but when I direct, and you guys probably know, like, I'm a very operative word, like taskmaster, like that's the stress word, not that. And the reason being is that if actors very often stress the wrong word, and to me, it's like singing off key. It's like you're not really playing the meaning of what you're saying.
Right.
So you have to be like crystal clear with edges, understand your argument, understand the meaning of what you're saying, because if we lose that, actually as the audience loses the thread. They actually lose the narrative. And they still get the vibe, they still get the feeling. If the feeling has enough pizzazz, they'll be like, yeah! And then they'll forget about it 2 days later. They will forget about it. So you have to keep the narrative completely clear. And that, in plays at least, as opposed to movies, is communicated through language. So I look for those things.
Those are all very important things, and I think it's so interesting. I mean, this may sound like a stupid question, but I don't know. So how do you find those hit words so that you want to use those actors to sort of project on to make sure that they're
I'll tell you, an operative word, the definition of an operative word is the word or words emphasized in a sentence to help communicate the meaning of that sentence.
Oh, very
So you see, I stress the words that are appropriate.
yes. For those who are here and are watching at home, if you're
Right.
performers, listen to this.
Well, we all speak with stress words all the time, naturally.
Right.
Right. So I would never say, if I came in and you're like, where were you? I wouldn't say, I went to the store. But actually, all the time, I went to the store. I'd say, I went to the store. I went to the store. Unless you said, did Tommy go to the store and buy me a cake? I would say, no, I went to the store and bought you a cake. Because the personal pronoun in that case is in an antithetical position to Tommy. So that's an example of linguistic rules of how we speak. Human beings don't stress personal pronouns unless they are as part of a comparison. We also don't stress modifiers, and actors do that all the time. I'm just kidding. Nobody says that. People say, I'm just kidding.
Right.
The meaning is in the kidding. So I say to actors is the modifier is the salt, and the word it's modifying is the meat. Right, so don't mistake the salt for the meat.
Yes. Yes. Oh my goodness.
I'm
Modifiers.
just kidding.
Modifiers on. I feel like I'm back in school again. Oh my goodness. English for Oliver. I love it. I'm like, that's exciting though. But no, that's great. I feel like I'm back in English.
Or even people actually this like adjective.
Not there.
I'm going to give you a big kiss. I'm going to give you a big kiss. The kiss has all the meaning.
Right. Exactly. It does. So you're the Associate Professor of Acting and Directing, and head of BFA Performance at UMich Department of Theater, which is incredible and such a great University of Michigan, I should say, for those who don't know that abbreviation, which is, the top of the line theater school and program out there. You also work with other theater departments too. How did you get started in that, and what has that been like? Are you obviously you're now a brother? Are you still doing work as the head there? And
So that's a good question. I'm actually on leave of absence now to do this play.
That's exciting though.
Last year,
I've got to be very proud of you that.
Yeah, no,
a lot of their students have done Broadway, but to say what their faculty,
Well,
it's cool.
let me say that in this production of Leopoldstadt, there are 2 Michigan acting grads who are in it with me. One who was there before I got there, but the other was my student. He's one from Jesse and Tony Malone is the other one. And then last year I was on sabbatical actually, so I haven't been there for a while. So in fact, I'm not serving as head of performance presently. There's someone doing it in my absence, but how did it? Yeah.
Yes. How did it go about?
I will tell you that. Again, it may seem dishonest, but it's really not. My fantasy for myself has always been like Uta Hagen. Like I wanted to be Uta Hagen. You know what I mean? Like this great teacher who also was on Broadway. You know, she could put her money where her mouth was. She'd do her work. She'd go teach again. Small ball class. I don't smoke that class, but that was like what sparked my imagination. And whatever. I mean, who knows? Maybe I'm a bad teacher. But I would say, like, when I was in grad school as a student, like, my fellow students would come to me for coaching. Like, it was weird, just sort of started happening.
Oh my goodness.
And then I was like, I don't like doing this.
Yeah.
So, and then I was in New York after being in California, and, you know, I hit that, you know, that chasm where it wasn't working. Well, I had been working for a long while, and then I stopped working, and I was like, what should I do? It's like, oh, I should apply for teaching positions. And this is I'm pretty sure this is pre-email. I'm dating myself. Because I snail mailed my resume to every college and university within a 1 hour radius of New York.
Oh my
They had all
goodness.
of them.
Wow.
Just cold sent them. And I got one interview at the American Musical and Dramatic Academy. And actually, there's an AMDA graduate also in Leopoldstadt, Casey. So I got that job.
Wow.
And then that led to getting hired at Pace University, which led to getting hired at Wesleyan University, which led to getting hired at Northwestern University, where I was before, and then to Michigan.
I mean, that's incredible. And that also talks about, I mean, your determination and dedication too. You send out all of these, you know, these resumes in snail mail, and I mean, that's really takes some perseverance, because you could have just been like, well, that's going to be a waste. Look, you got one interview which led to this role, which led to the job at AMDA, and it opened all these doors. I mean, that's incredible. And there must be some special feeling too to be performing with a former student of yours as well. That's going to be really feeling good. You feel really proud that you not only know about it, but you have a student as well that you get to work alongside with. That's got to be really
Great feeling. Love it.
I bet.
Love it. You know, I was in winter spring. I was doing a show at the Goodman Theater, and another fellow student of mine was in that production. And I was between shows, and I went out. I saw a poster for a different show. There was another student of mine in that poster.
Oh my
and I got
goodness.
literally this happened. And I got a text from another student who's like, I'm doing an episode of Chicago PD. I'm flying in from LA. I'd like to have coffee with you. I'm like, they're working all over the place. I would say that, like, I'll direct things at University of Michigan, and I'll watch the work. I'm like, these are all professional actors who just happen to be in college right now. You know what I mean? They're just not old enough yet to be professional. They decided to go to college first, which is a wise decision. Go to college first.
Yes. It's important to get that education. Okay, amazing. Well, let's do our second trivia question, and this is going to be for the Drama Gloom, the acting game, which is very exciting. It's the gold edition. It's also for sale here at the Broadway Makers Marketplace. So come and get your pick up one now, or go to the website BroadwayMakersMarketplace.store. It's very exciting, and from what I'm told, this is selling out at every theater place that it's at. So it's very exciting. If you're a drama nerd, you'll love it. Okay, so this question is, I mentioned earlier that Back to the Future is coming back, well, not coming back, but it's coming to Broadway. What theater is Back to the Future going to be flying into?
The Lyceum.
Not the Lyceum, close. That's all right, a few blocks up. It's going to be flying into this theater, which is a big theater.
That one named after an airline.
Not the American Airlines. It's the Winter Garden. It's the Winter Garden Theater. Yes. Wait, no, don't apologize. It's the Winter Garden Theater. It is going into the Winter Garden Theater. Congratulations. Very exciting. That's awesome. Very exciting. It's going to the Winter Garden Theater, which is home to Music Man presently. And it's going to be opening there on June 30th.
Wait, I have a question. Is every Broadway show formally a movie?
Well, nowadays it seems like. I mean, nowadays it seems like, and who knows how it's going to be. I mean, it's
Leopoldstadt is a future movie.
I hope so. It should. I think it should be well as a movie. I mean, the people who have seen Back to the Future in the West End said it was deep, good, and it's got a lot of the music from the '80s. So who knows? But it's so many. They're doing this at so many shows that are movies, and in one way, I understand it. But we need people in the seats. We need people to see the shows. But I do wish that we had. More of, all of us and people who love and support theater know theater. We love it. We'll see really anything. But I wish that the general feel of the average going audience, the tourists and stuff, was a little bit like the UK in the sense that they appreciated shows for what they are, where they didn't need to see a movie musical on stage to enjoy it, or they didn't need to see a big star to go and see it, or to see, whatever kitschy movie musical, that you could see a new show that is, for instance, Kimberly Akimbo, which has just opened. It's very exciting. It's getting a lot of rave, a lot of buzz. It's probably going to win the Tony Award. I want to see it very badly, but that's getting a lot of buzz, and I hope that picks up. If we see more of that, but it's tough.
What do you think is going to win the Tony for Best Play?
Leopoldstadt. Leopoldstadt will win. But I think so. It's a double-edged sword because we do need them in the, especially nowadays coming back from COVID. But I do wish there was a little less.
If it works, it works.
Yeah, some do. Listen, Beetlejuice grew on me. I was not a fan of that show when I first saw it. I saw it in Winter Garden and loved the set, loved the scenic designs. Alec Raymond is great, but I was just like, what? And then I came back from, being reopened and saw it, and I was like, oh, you know what? I forgot how good this music is and appreciated it. And now I really found love for it. And I don't know what the kids see in it. They are obsessed with it, but I really enjoy the show. But the kids, the young kids there.
Right. I want you to define kids.
The young kids in high school and in college that are obsessed with this.
Stop being here. What age?
What'd you say?
You look like a kid.
No, thank you. I appreciate that. No, I'll be 28 actually.
Okay.
Months, but the young teeny boppers, the young kids, the Gen Zers, they love it, and so I find it. I guess it's the TikTok craze that they went crazy for it. So I don't understand it, but the music is incredible, and that's a movie musical that grew on me. So. Obviously you're in Leopoldstadt, which is exciting, but is there, as you continue on your journey, is there things that you're currently having the works directing-wise or producing-wise or acting-wise?
I've written and am developing an adaptation of the Greek tragedy Medea, and it's a rock and roll adaptation. It's called Rock Medea. And I'm collaborating with a former student of mine, Michigan student. He was an acting major, but he is a brilliant musician. His name is Gian Perez, and he is in Sing Street, which was opening on Broadway in March of 2020, but got shut down. Mm-hmm. And they just had a sort of out of town. They redid it. It was in Boston. And actually, the drummer in Sing Street, Anthony Genovese, is also part of it.
Amazing.
So there's also a bunch of Broadway folks in it. Amy Warren has been a part of it, Alex Nee,
what's the
Scotty
name
Volpe.
the guy who comes and sings who's in Sing Street? What's the name?
Max Bartos.
Max Bartos. We have him here a lot at the Broadway Makers Marketplace. Cool. Yeah.
So we had a workshop in July, and then we're doing another workshop in December for invited guests. It's not open to the public, but it's to get producers interested, and I got a grant to help to develop the piece, and then we're going to record some of the songs and start to try to get it out there to get money to do a full production.
Amazing. Well, that sounds very exciting. A lot on the horizon. Make sure you go see Daniel in Leopoldstadt at the Longyear Theater. Daniel, where can we keep up with you? And do you have a website?
Rye. I'm so bad. The only I've made 2 Instagram posts in the last 2 years. One was because I was on here and it seemed like it would be a nice thing to do.
Oh, thanks.
Let's see it work. Because here's the thing, I want to be self-promoting, but I'm very bad at it. I just am so bad at it.
I know.
I'm terrible at it. I do have a website, danielcantor.com. You
Yeah.
can check out my work there.
It's a great website.
Stuff. I'm a dinosaur. I lived in the 21st century. I was born in the 20th, and I'm attracted to the 19th. So I'm all wrong.
I love it. Well, make sure you keep up with Daniel then. DanielCantor.com. Follow me, Rye Myers on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, all that at Rye_Myers. That's Rye with an E, like Y's with a Z, as I say. Rye_Myers, and go to RyeMyers.com to see all the past episodes of Live with Rye and Friends, and so much more. And listen, the Broadway Makers Marketplace is celebrating 1 year next week on Sunday. It's very exciting. They've been 1 year here, and we have a lot planned. It's a fan meetup all weekend long. But make sure you go to BroadwayMakersMarketplace.store to see everything we have. But come on out, especially next Sunday. It's going to be very exciting. There's tons of things that are planned in the works. My guest next week for the show is Julie Boardman, who's producer and CEO and president of and head of Museum of Broadway, which is going to be opening, which is exciting. What?
She's so much better than me.
No, everyone is bringing their own special one. No, you are incredible. I don't think she's been on Broadway's performance.
Okay.
She's a Broadway producer, but so everybody brings their own special thing. And after that, next week the following week we have someone from Some Like It Hot, the new musical. So make sure you keep it here at the Broadway Makers Marketplace. Follow along.
Sorry,
Yep,
I'm disrupting your
No,
closing.
go ahead.
Can I say that, like, in our discussion, Leopoldstadt is selling and people are coming
It
to see it.
is.
So is it a straight play that's substantive that people are
Yes.
coming to see? And I want to tell you, I got this check for $98 or something like that.
I love it. Well, that's we love a good deal. We love a jack.
And you're awesome. You're so nice and
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Make sure you get your tickets for Leopoldstadt. Do not miss this. It's a limited engagement. As I said, it is selling so well, which is so exciting to see. It's beautiful, come with tissues. It's a tough show to watch, but it's so important, especially with everything going on right now in this country with anti-Semitism. Go see Leopoldstadt. Daniel, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you.